These trees are part of a huge forest. However, the area covered by these trees was once a pond a few hundred years ago. Over a period of time, the population of the different aquatic plant and animal species in the pond was replaced by terrestrial plant and animal species. This gradual and fairly predictable change in the composition of different species in a given area is known as ecological succession. During ecological succession, the population of certain species increases, while that of many others may decline or even disappear. In fact, present-day communities across the world are the result of ecological succession that took place over several million years. It is assumed that succession and evolution are parallel processes in operation since time immemorial. All communities undergo constant changes in their composition and structure in response to changes in environmental conditions. These changes take place in a sequential and orderly manner, leading to a climax community which is in near equilibrium with the environment. For example, in the ecological succession from a pond to a forest, the climax community is the forest. Also, in the process of ecological succession, the sequence of communities that replace one another in a given area is known as a seer or seers. Each transitional community is called a seeral community or a seeral stage. In each successive seeral stage, the diversity of plant and animal species increases along with an increase in the number of species and total biomass. But what causes ecological succession? Primarily, there are two causes for ecological succession: biotic factors and physiographic factors. Biotic factors include interactions between different organisms in a community, leading to changes in composition, structure, and functions in that community. Physiographic factors, on the other hand, include physical factors like floods, erosion, and landslides, and chemical factors like nature of soil and water. Furthermore, ecological succession is of two types: primary and secondary. Primary succession is a type of biotic succession that takes place in areas where no life previously existed. Some such areas include bare rock, new islands exposed out of the sea, sand dunes, and newly created lava or a pond. The process of primary succession takes a very long time. A possible reason being that soil is required for the creation of new biotic communities, and the process of soil formation takes several hundred or thousand years, depending on climatic conditions. Conversely, secondary succession is a type of biotic succession that takes place in areas that once had an existing biotic community, which was wiped out due to reasons like earthquakes, landslides, or fire. as secondary succession takes place in areas which once had congenial conditions for the existence of life, along with some existing soil or sediments, the time taken for this type of succession is comparatively less than for primary succession. However, at any time during the process of primary or secondary succession, man-made or natural disturbances can result in a particular seral stage being converted to an earlier stage. Now, let's learn about the process of ecological succession in plants. Based on the nature of the habitat, ecological succession of plants is categorized as hydrarch, mesarch, and xerarch. When succession takes place in regions with plenty of water, such as swamps, ponds, or lakes, it is known as hydrarch. Here, the succession series progresses from hydric or highly wet conditions to mesic or medium water conditions. On the other hand, when succession takes place in regions with moist, well-aerated soil, it is known as mesarch. Finally, succession in regions with minimum moisture, such as rocks and deserts, is known as xerarch. Here, the succession series progresses from xeric or highly dry conditions to mesic conditions. The species that invades a bare area during primary succession is known as the pioneer species, and it varies depending on the area where the succession is taking place. The pioneer species is usually the lichens when primary succession takes place on a rock. Lichens have the ability to secrete acids that dissolve rocks, helping in the processes of weathering and soil formation. The small amount of soil thus formed leads to the growth of plants like bryophytes or moss, which over a period of time get replaced by bigger plants like herbs and shrubs. After several succession stages, big plants get replaced by trees, leading to a stable climax forest.